Hello, my dears. We are back. We are going to be making some changes in my Dark Academia living room, and I want to take you along. I have to refer back to a video I did in early January of 2024. Actually, I did one in 2023 too. Both of those videos did really, really well, and I talk about what I predict will be the trends in interior design for the following year. Here's what you need to know about trends. They last typically 10 years. If they last longer than that, they are not trends. They're classics. So I'm not against trends. I know some people will say, oh, I never follow the trends. I don't actually agree with that sentiment. I think that trends, if you entirely embrace them and you do your whole home in trends, I do think that you can look kind of young, actually. Not to offend the younger generation, but that look to me says you have not lived enough decades to know that these are not going to always be liked as much. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I think that you should always be studying the trends and be trying different versions of them just to stay young, right? So that's where I stand on my beliefs about trends and how to use them. I think that you should know what they are and you should try some of them if they are inexpensive. That's where I think people get in trouble, is they don't have boundaries on the trends. And so the best way to play with trends is to play with paint colors. It's very inexpensive. You can change an entire room in 1 or 2 days. And so that's actually what we're doing today, as you've already figured out. This is my Dark Academia living room. I predicted in 2023 and 2024 that we would be embracing muted colors. And Sherwin-Williams even released or started to promote their historic color collections that they have in the back of their fan deck. And those became all the rage. I was really excited that we were getting more interested in colors. I think that it does bring more life back into our homes. But I am not a fan of Dark Academia anymore. So I painted this room. This is called Slate Tile. I know people love my living room color. I get questions all the time about it, several times a week. It's Slate Tile. It's by Sherwin-Williams. And I do like the color. I actually love it in photographs, but in real life, I found, I think it's been a little over a year, so I've really given it a go. I've found that this color is too moody. Instead of feeling cozy, it feels stifling, especially I am sure that the corner of the world that I live in has something to do with it. I'm in Washington State, where it rains truly 9 months out of the year. And so this room feels very cold and gloomy. And I mean, Dark Academia is inspired by the Gothic era. And so there you go. If you aren't in a space of the world that has a lot of sunshine and you have to take vitamin D just to live in that portion of the world, this might not work for you. I have changed my mind, and we are going to change the color of these walls. I still adore the decorations of the academia trend that is going on. And I don't think it's so much a trend as it is the traditional genre of interior design. So I think it's safe in that way to invest in. But there is good news about Dark Academia. There is a delightful counterpart, which is Light Academia. And I'm going to switch this room to Light Academia, and I'm going to take you along. I want to explain what I'm doing and how you can do these things in your house as well. So this whole style, it's based on this upper class European culture of the early 19th century. It's very romantic, it has strong Victorian undertones, and it fits well with what I'm already wanting to do in this house. The color that we are changing the walls to is called Accessible Beige. It's by Sherwin-Williams. It's a lovely putty color. I got it in the satin sheen if you are going to get this for yourself. And I matched it to my drapes. I do love the tone-on-tone look of your drapes matching your walls. Is especially stunning when you have the wallpaper and that matches the fabric that's the drapes. I think that looks fantastic. And so I wanted my drapes to have this layered look against the walls. I'm keeping the blue on all the trim. And then if you saw earlier, I found an antique settee that is the same color as the trim. And so that's another thing that I'm excited about changing the color of these walls is the settee will have its moment. It will become more of a centerpiece. And I found that it was getting swallowed up by the walls and it wasn't getting the attention that it deserved. Now we just refinished our floors. Gosh, I guess it's been about a month now. And we changed it to a medium dark brown. That is the most classic flooring choice you have out there is that medium brown. I'll link the video on the refinishing our floors for you. So wood floors, either oak, walnut. We have fir. If you have oak or walnut floors, that'd be fantastic. And add in rugs. I have actually 2 rugs that I layered in the center of this room. You'll see later. But that's a really great foundation for creating this style. One thing I was noticing as the walls began to lighten is that the room felt decidedly English cottage. And I started thinking, wow, I need to add some faux beams in here, which may be an upcoming DIY that I share with you. I managed to lean into the wall at one point when I was painting and got paint all over my green coveralls. And Colby had warned me about that. He said, don't wear these darker coveralls when you paint with a light paint or you're going to just ruin them. You need to wear a white coveralls. So I was wrong, dear. I was wrong. So I'm trying to get the paint out of my coveralls at this point, but I'm continuing on. Now, one of the things I'm not doing in this room yet anyway is that I don't have a ton of molding. I just feel like there's plenty going on in this room with the window seat and the 2 different doors, and there's pillars leading into the fireside room. But you really could go all out with molding if you want to do this light academia look. So that's your crown molding, your picture molding. It's a chair rail, it's board and batten, great baseboards, all of that will add to this look. And that, gosh, I mean, that's one of the first things I would figure out is how much molding you're going to put in a room like this. Then you're going to pick colors for your walls that are just really soft and muted and dreamy. So creams, browns, golds, warm grays, and these pair really well with other traditional colors like muted olives and greens and blues and sage greens. And so at one point I actually stuck my head on a white wall and now I have paint in my hair, but I am determined to finish this space. So I did all of this in a day and a half all by myself, and I'm very proud of how much I got done. This room, there's not a lot of wall space, but there's a tremendous amount of trim. So then I'm reassembling the room, and I just want to show you what I'm doing. So you want to have a lot of books. In fact, encyclopedia sets are perfect if you can find them in the right colors, light colors and linen covers. You want to collect those and have lots and lots of books. That is a must-have with light academia. Then I think grabbing natural items. So you'll see I have corals and have feathers. You want it to feel just like a place of study and intellectual pursuits. So everything that a biologist might have in that space, or maps and globes and typewriters and journals and antique office supplies. I have lots of birds' nests and shells. All of that is just so perfect for a room like this. I even have my paper clips in an oyster shell, and I have my rubber bands in an oyster shell. Beautiful scissors. Just be collecting these kinds of items for when you assemble your room. Things like stationery, typewriters, an inkwell, magnifying glass. All of these speak to that old school love of knowledge and study and learning. I'm gonna link to my drill that I love. It's this little drill that's not too heavy for me, and I can handle it. And then I have a magnetic cuff that I wear so that any hardware that I'm pulling out is especially nice if I'm like hanging a light or something and I don't want to drop something all the way down on the floor. I stick it right on my wrist, and then it's there with me. They're some of my favorite little tools to have on hand. So I will link those. Now, as far as furniture, bookshelves are a must. You must have bookshelves if you want to do academia style. This just gives you the perfect space to develop that history and authenticity that you're going for. You can style the bookshelves with books, of course, but then bring in metals that have really great patina. Bring in those little pieces of nature that you want to style up. All of this helps make the space look just a lot more believable, like you really could just lose yourself in the world of literature. So beyond bookshelves, you're going to want things like, of course, desks. I have 2 desks in this living room. You want really cozy places for reading. I have a trunk that actually houses all my painting supplies, but that feels really traditional, really Victorian. And I get asked all the time about my curtain rods. So I'm just going to tell you here. I did not buy these. I made these curtain rods. They are those wooden dowels or poles that you would put in a closet. So I bought the wooden poles at Home Depot because they're extra long, really inexpensive, and then I stained them. And then the brackets and the rings and the pineapple finials I thrifted. You can find them on eBay or probably at Etsy. But I thrifted them and I spray painted them and I put it all together. And I have loved these. I've had them for like 15 years and I always get so many compliments on them. So then as far as lighting, the lighting's really, really important. You want your lighting to be really soft and your light fixtures to feel really sophisticated and feel sort of inherited. Very traditional, very Victorian inspired with vintage detailing is perfect. That's floor lamps, table lamps, chandeliers, pendants. I'll show you my chandelier over the other desk. And I need to decide on the lampshades for this sconce. I cannot decide if I want to do a pattern on them or more pleated with velvet ribbon. Tell me what you would do on those. So meanwhile, as I was working on this room, Colby decided that sometimes when I work on a space, he gets really inspired too and feels like, yeah, I want to get stuff done too. And so he pulled out the baseboards that have been in our shop for a while, and we started to get them put up. We didn't add the actual blue little quarter round that goes along the bottom edge, but it was fun. He was getting in the spirit of changing the room. So then I found these towel bars at a salvage yard, and my idea was that I would paint them. They're 18 inches. And I want to do something fun with the window seat. I am going to spray paint them gold. And then we're working at late into the night here, but we stuck them on the ceiling. And I think they might be a little weird looking. I haven't decided, but I want drapery panels over the window seat. I feel like it would make it extra cozy. And I have this beautiful block print fabric, which I've used in different spaces in my house. And so I can hang them up there. They're a little bit short though. And so I may just add fringe, or I haven't been able to find the fabric again, which I cannot believe, but I think it's been discontinued. Another question is actually these pillars. I could paint them blue. From the living room, they would be better blue, but from the fireside room, I like them that light gray. It's Revere Pewter by Benjamin Moore. So those are design questions for you. Lampshades on the sconce. Length of the curtains on the window seat. How would you lengthen those since I can't find more of the fabric? I do have another set of panels that I could cut up and splice together at the bottom, but I hate to damage that other set of panels. And then color of the pillars. What do you think? I think tufted furniture looks so good with light or dark academia. For wall decor, gallery walls. Classic wall solution with gilded frames or gilded mirrors are good. Brought in some pictures of my mom from when she was little. I lost her 2 years ago, and I love these sweet little pictures of her. So I have those in the room. Artwork that's oil paintings, pen and ink sketches look really beautiful in these spaces. As far as more decoration ideas for like coffee tables, I would say a chess set. Marble busts, a terrarium would look really good. I might do that. Bring in more plants. You could start with just ferns. An English ivy would be really beautiful. I love glass cloches in a room like this, and I have just a collection of my bird's nests. I don't think any of them are actually real, but they work. This piano was my mother's. She was a really fantastic pianist and a piano teacher, music teacher as well, and she learned how to play on that piano. So it's very sentimental to me. Then we have our cozy little window seat we're trying out with our drapes. So I already am finding myself spending a lot more time in this room now that we've switched over to light academia. And I still have a few changes I would make in here, but I think that's enough for this week. Thank you for watching. I so enjoy making these videos for you. It is my joy to do this. And I hope you come back again. Have a wonderful week. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.